What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sinister-Cast, a podcast where I talk about music, my channel, and things going on in my life. So if you're new, consider subscribing. And just like a couple weeks ago, we have a guest. This guest is someone who's a little more important than the last guest, but don't tell him I said that. And if this person wants to reveal who they are, they can move their hands and magic. So I'm going to let her introduce herself, kind of, but this is Kaylee. You've heard me talk about her before. This is my girlfriend. I've talked about her in other Sinister-Casts and stuff. Like, I don't even know when. Like, the watch one is the best one that I can think of. She's the one who got me the watch, the wooden watch and stuff, in one of the Sinister-Casts a long time ago, back in June, July. But I'm going to give the floor to her to introduce who she is. So, anything you want to say and mention about who you are, go for it.
I'm Kaylee. I'm his girlfriend. That's about it.
Nothing about who you are, like what you like. Well, before we get into how we met and stuff, just tell them, like, because I'm a music channel and stuff, where you sit in terms of music. Just so they know, like, your taste and everything.
I'm kind of like Virgil, more on the rock side. But I'm not a big Megadeth person. I like Metallica more.
She doesn't like Dave's voice.
For example, my first concert was Rob Zombie and Disturbed. Virgil took me to Korn as a birthday present. So, yeah.
And then she likes newer stuff, too.
I like Dave Matthews a lot.
Well, they're not new.
Fleetwood Mac.
I mean, newer like your, like, Imagine Dragons and...
Yeah.
And the Chandelier chick
Sia,
and
yeah.
Sia and all them. So, and that, I think I've said to you guys before, that's the only reason why I have any idea of any newer music. Like, when I did the Lady Gaga cover, I would never have found that out if it wasn't for... She's the only reason why I knew about that song in the first place. Like, otherwise, I would be completely clueless of any of that music because I don't listen to it. That's all her and then me hearing what she's listening to. And that's basically how it goes. But I guess we can kind of follow the same formula that I did when I had Daniel on a couple weeks ago. And just kind of talk about how we met and stuff, since obviously you're more important. And it's probably kind of key to tell them how we met and everything. So how I remember it was, I know we met in 8th grade. So how long ago was that? 8 years? 7, 8 years?
Well, we graduated 3 years ago. And
Plus, so that'd be
June.
7. So it's like 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We met in 8th grade. And I remember, I don't know how much you remember. We've talked about it before, but I remember you being in gym class. We had the same gym class.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you... I just remember you being in gym class, and that's like the earliest memory of you that I have is in gym class when we had to do the stupid, like, mandatory laps around the gym before we did anything or after we did whatever.
Mm-hmm.
People had to walk around the gym a couple times and just do that whole thing. And I vaguely just remember seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't long after that, because we lived, like, in the same neighborhood. So 3-4 streets down from each other, not very far.
He knew that. I didn't know that.
Did I know that?
You knew that because you walked me home.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Eventually, because we both walked home. There was no bus, I don't think.
Yeah, our school district, if you live so close to the school, you don't get a bus ride. You have to walk.
Right, and so we would walk home, and then how did we, like, end up... Do you remember how we ended up, like, actually walking together? Was it just like, hey, I know you?
We had a mutual friend that lived on the same road as him, I became friends with her. And I think it was just 1 or 2 days out of the week, one time we all ended up walking together, and then it became like a routine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I think she was in gym class with us as well. I'm not sure, though.
She might have been.
Because that's how I met that whole friend group.
From gym?
Mm-hmm.
Who do we have?
I don't remember. Miss D.
Oh, yeah. She was weird.
I liked her.
I know why. She is very... very authoritarian.
Yeah. She's a strong woman.
Nice way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we started walking home together all the time, and I would walk her home and then go home. And then that just kind of led into everything.
Really what it was is there's this other boy that liked me, and I don't think Virgil appreciated that. So Virgil had to make sure to walk me home, so this other guy wouldn't, get in there.
He was a douchebag. Like, humongous douchebag. I think he still is.
Doesn't matter.
We saw him like a couple years ago. He's still the same. But yeah. And so I'd walk her home and then I'd go home. And then we just kind of became friends that way. Mm-hmm. And then from there, it turned into more than friends.
Well, we ended up, because he walked me home every single day. And, the way it was is our high school / middle school was right next to each other because we met in middle school. I had just moved from another school district, so I was, brand new, didn't know anybody. And, our middle school and high school was, maybe 1 or 2 miles away from his house. Mm-hmm. And then my house was further down, in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, he walked me home and then would turn around and walk the other direction where we were coming from. And I didn't know that until we became closer. And we ended up, I think it started with, Skype and...
Skyping, yeah.
Yeah, we would talk a lot after school. Just about everything, how our day was.
You know what? I just remembered, too. Hmm. I didn't ask for your number. You asked for mine.
I don't recall.
Yeah, you did. I think, because you asked for mine. And then we started texting and stuff.
That surprises me.
I forgot about that.
I'm not usually the one to take initiative like that.
I forgot you're the one who asked me, but yeah. And then we would just text.
Well, it was nice. I came from a difficult situation. I had just moved schools, and I think it was nice to know I had somebody who, obviously I didn't know back then that you genuinely cared about me, but it was nice to have, a friend that didn't know all my baggage and stuff, so.
Fresh start kind of
thing.
Even though I'd come to know it all anyway.
Yeah.
But.
And I've always been a girl. I have a twin brother. I was always hanging out with guys. I'm kind of a tomboy. You don't really hang out with a lot of girls. So it was just kind of...
Girls are just drama.
Well, it was just comfortable. I wasn't, uncomfortable with him being my best friend. It was natural for me.
Oh, yeah. Our friendship went quick. Quick. It wasn't just,
Not in a romantic way, but just we became really good friends very easily.
Because we have a lot of things in common. I mean, we still do, and that's part of why obviously we're together. But you were still a semi-metalhead, and I was coming from being not the weirdo metalhead kid, but the metal kid. Everybody else listened to rap and whatever new shit was out, but I was always the metalhead kid, and so I connected with you there. And plus, you were in band.
I was just about to say a big contributing factor was we were both percussionists.
Yeah.
I played the drums, he played the drums. I played xylophone, he played xylophone.
And I've told you guys before. I don't know if it was in the live stream I did or another. I lose track. I'm done. This is episode 22. That's 22 weeks. So I lose track of when and where I've ever said anything. But she was really good at marimba and stuff like that. If she would have kept doing it, I think I've said before, she would have been doing the crazy shit with 3 mallets. If you know how a marimba or xylophone works, 3 mallets in each hand playing some crazy stuff. That's where she was.
Well, that's how we clicked. We were we both had a passion for music.
Right.
It's our outlet.
Right, and that's, like, I said something to you guys before, too. I couldn't, like, there's a couple people in my family that are musicians, but it wasn't my mom or dad or my brother. My sister played violin, but it was like she had to. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't have anybody to discuss music. I had my dad to talk about bands, but I didn't have anyone to talk about playing or making music. And so that was a big part of how I connected with her too, was because she understood music, and she gets annoyed with it now, but back then, it was, she understands music, so I can still tell her things now that I can talk to you guys about, and she'll understand. And it's not like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So that was a huge reason why I kind of was like, ding. Because obviously it moved on from being just friends. And because then we moved on to high school, and then freshman year, we dated. This is the time we're dating now is the second time. We dated our freshman year of high school, and it didn't work out. And then we got back together our junior year, and then it's went on to what it is now.
People grow and mature, and they learn to appreciate things, as you get older. And freshman year was not the time, obviously.
No, we were like,
we still cared about each other, but like we took a year off from any communication. Like our whole sophomore year,
we were just kind of enemies.
Yep, it was frustrating, and hurtful stuff was said, but I mean, we both were obviously going through things with each other and not with each other, and we decided to, he's in wrestling, or he was in wrestling, and I have a twin brother, like I said, and they both were on the wrestling team, and that's how I kind of like started communicating and seeing him again, because I would just avoid him up until that year when my twin brother joined wrestling with him.
Our junior year.
Yeah. And we ended up talking, and my brother knew of Virgil. He knew that we liked each other. He knew we were really close. But we call each other like the Three Musketeers. We were all like really close friends, and it's not awkward. It's not like they're dating. It's like we can all sit in a room, have a good time, and it's not weird at all.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what kind of started us talking again. And then of course I think it was like, what was it, November or December when wrestling started? Like,
yeah, so we were
conditioning started, and then like,
well, so freshman year we dated for
from
January
month? No, it was longer than a month. From January to about March, because you gave me stuff for Valentine's Day.
I remember Valentine's Day. That's why I was saying a month. But if 2 months. But like I said, it didn't work. Then sophomore year, we were enemies. Going from enemies to probably, like she was saying, late October, early November, when wrestling was picking up again, is when we started talking again. And by February of the next year, so like within 3-4 months, we were dating again.
I remember just like sending him a message like through Snapchat or Skype or something, just like,
I don't even think I had Snapchat then.
No, but it was like, I still remember it to this day. I have a picture from, we were Skyping, and I was like, hey, do you just like, you want to Skype? And I remember being so excited and happy that we were talking again, because it felt like normal.
Was that the picture you have of me when
with your glasses?
Was I playing?
No.
That was when it was on my desk and I was looking down?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because we would Skype and she'd watch me play sometimes when I was playing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there's a couple times. It wasn't like I wasn't jamming out to Megadeth or anything. I just had my acoustic just screwing around. But yeah. I remember doing that a lot, and I remember you just staring at me when I did it. Even though it might not be as romantic for me to play anymore, But yeah. Oh, come on. My computer wants to be dumb today. But yeah, now we've been together for just under 4 years and going through college and everything.
I was going to say, why don't we talk about like...
Okay, well...
So we our junior year was really good. It's like the honeymoon stage. We went to prom together, everything. We went to prom with my brother went with us. We went as like a group.
We went to both proms together. We went to junior.
I was getting to senior year.
Junior prom and senior prom.
And then senior year was a little more difficult. Obviously, like, I don't know if he's talked about it, but
I think I mentioned it.
Was accepted to Berklee School of Music in Boston. And I, obviously, that was like a long ways away from where we are, and so we have the potential of doing like a long distance relationship, which we're doing now, but in the moment we didn't know we were going to be going. It was a high possibility he was going to be out of state, which is harder than just like a town or two away. And then on top of that, my brother joined the military, so it's like we all just kind of like dispersed. So senior year was really difficult. Graduation was really hard because it was like our last hurrah. Like, it was very frustrating and very sad.
Before we were gonna split off.
Yeah, very emotional. Like, because it's all throughout high school. It's just been me and him, and then my brother came into the picture, and it was all three of us the whole time. And
I mean, we had other friends and stuff. We just didn't. I mean, I hung out with friends. You hung out with friends, but it wasn't.
It's not the same.
It wasn't to the extent because, like I've said before, and I mean, she still is. Before we dated, anyway, we were like best friends. Like, we were each other's best friends, and I mean, I still consider her my best friend, but it's just that's who I would hang out with. That's who I would talk to.
Like, every single day at school, after school, like, it was just the normal. Like, he'd come over, I'd come over. We'd all hang out, me, him, and my brother.
Go to the park.
Go to, like...
lunch, whatever.
I was in soccer, he was in wrestling. We all went to each other's, like, events. Like, we were all just our support systems, really.
Yeah. And then I remember senior year, like, when I still was thinking that I was... I mean, I always kind of knew that I wasn't going to go to Berklee because I knew it was really expensive. I knew it was a long shot. And even before I knew I was going to get in, I didn't think I was going to get in.
I knew he was going to get in.
But it was just like, I remember having to remind you, like, we need to make every day count before we part ways.
And I wasn't even just like, it was hard because I wasn't even just parting ways with you. I was parting ways with my brother, too, who's been, like, you've both been there through everything.
So, and I mean, I didn't go to Berklee, but we did end up going to 2 different schools. I think I've told you guys before. And we go back and forth on weekends and stuff. Like, obviously, I'm home. She's on the video right now, so she's down here. And I think some other Sinister-Cast when I'm in my car. I've been up there. So we make do. It's not
easy whatsoever.
No, and especially with our situation because we've been together so long, it's not like some fling where you can just be like, I don't like the long distance thing. Fuck it. I don't want to do it. It's like, it's a lot more than that.
Not to mention, it's been kind of hard for me because a lot of people in our high school didn't think we were going to last. And so it's kind of hard when you're going to college with certain people that don't have faith in your relationship. And you kind of, like, they're wanting you to do certain things. And, like, you're in a serious relationship. Like, I'm not trying to go out and party all the time. I'm content with being at home. I'm content with...
Well, it's not even, like, partying and stuff. It's...
just stuff that, most single people do.
It's... and she already knows because I've complained about it before. The only problem I've ever had with partying and stuff, like, the only time I ever go is with her. I've been to maybe a handful of parties with friends. Otherwise, it's all with her and anything we do. I just don't go out. She does more of that than I do. The only problem I've ever had with that stuff, it's not the sense of partying, it's all of the females like to be flirtatious and promiscuous and, for lack of better terms, hoish. And that's the problem I have. Because then they try to encourage that. Even with people who are in relationships, they try to encourage, like, come on, they're not going to know, that type of thing. And that's the only problem I've ever had with it. It's just...
Yeah, what it really comes down to is, like he was saying, we're best friends, and it's really hard to, like, try to expand that with other people when they, you know, don't understand the type of relationship we're in, or they don't understand, like, when we get into fights, that's not the end. We've been together, basically, for 4 years. It's not, you don't just give up like that, and,
I mean...
It's hard because he's my best friend, but I also want to be able to have friends up there. But if they're not going to support my relationship or encourage me to do good things, then that's not. And that's what's really been hard, this long distance. But, I mean, looking forward, I'm graduating in the spring. And
the one thing I would say, and I know I give you guys advice a couple times, unless you're in a situation like we were, where we knew we wanted to be together, and it's like the cheesy love story type high school sweetheart situation. Unless you're in that and you're, like, about to go to college or something, and you're gonna, like, get into a relationship just before you're going, or trying to do, you can make long distance relationships work, but I wouldn't recommend doing them, honestly. I know there's people that say it's whatever, love conquers everything, but it's not easy. It's really not. And
it's really hard.
And even for us, being as close as we are, it puts a lot of strain and stress on us that doesn't need to be there. Mm-hmm. And for people who don't have as strong of a relationship as we do, it would just fall apart.
Crumble, yeah.
And it's just heartbreak that you shouldn't put yourself through unnecessarily.
But
so don't take it so literally where I'm just telling you not to. If you feel like you have to and you're in a situation like we are, then go for it. But I don't think the long distance relationship, when it comes to new relationships, is really a good idea. It's just a setup for failure.
What I was going to say is, like, as far as our relationship, what's made it so strong is we've literally, like, the moment we met, we have told each other every aspect of our life. He knows everything about me. I know everything about him. And we know each other's flaws. We try to encourage, you know, the best of each other. But really just, like, not being afraid to be honest. Like, hey, I fucked up. Like, it's really hard to do it in the moment. But, like, being honest with your significant other is really important. And you know, if there's parts of your life that they don't know about that's really, like, bothering you, I would recommend talking to them about it. Because they're not going to know how to help you if they don't know, like, what you're going through.
And what's going on.
Yeah.
Communication. That's always... It's, again, as cheesy as it sounds, that's one of the biggest things that you need to have on lockdown. Because that's...
What's your favorite? Let's talk about our favorite things of each other.
Go. You go.
You go first.
No, you brought it up. You can go for it first.
Well, one of my favorite things about him, it's not really about him. It's his family.
What? Okay.
I have a very unique situation, and I was really nervous to meet his family. I get very nervous to meet people in general because I don't like people...
In general.
Well, just, like, in general, but, like, I don't want people judging me for, like, the way I may act sometimes or whatnot, because I've had a lot go on. But his family, like, I still remember, like, our first Christmas together. Like, I do not like gifts given to me. I don't like attention on me.
It's not that she doesn't like them, it's she's not used to it.
Yes, I guess. I don't like, I asked all of them not to get me stuff. I told him to tell them not to get me stuff.
And I did. I'm telling you I did.
But I remember, so, like, we went to his papa's house. First of all, I thought I was the only one whose grandpa, like, we call my grandpa Papa. And then I found out they call his grandpa Papa. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, this is awesome.
I mean, but it's a trade-off because I call my mom's dad Papa and I call my dad's dad Grandpa. So it's just, for me, it was a way to distinguish between the two instead of just saying Grandpa 1 and Grandpa 2 or whatever.
Well, it meant a lot to me. It was like, wow, I thought I was the only one that had a Papa. But anyway, his family, like, that Christmas, I remember sitting there, and it was really nerve-wracking. We have been dating for how many months?
For our first Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
From 10 months? February to December?
Something like that,
10 and a half months? 10
yeah,
months.
So we had been dating for a while. I met his family and everything.
But you met them before that.
But that's what I'm saying. I knew everybody, but it was still... I sat down and they do the thing where they like pass out everybody's gifts and then we go one by one and everybody opens it. And I remember sitting there and I was like watching everybody get their gifts and I was so happy for everybody because I just, I like seeing people get things and I just like look next to me and there's just like this huge pile of gifts and I was just like...
For you.
Yes, for me. Like, it was tall and very, like, there was a lot. And it was very overwhelming because I just wasn't used to stuff like that. And I didn't want them to get me anything to begin with. So just to have them do that was, like, really awesome for me at that point. Like, that's what did it for me. They're basically, like, my second family. If I have all of his, like, all their numbers in my phone. We text each other. We call each other, like...
More than I do.
Yeah, we do. And, like, if I need something, I know I could go to any of them, and they would help me. What?
Yeah. But that Christmas was fun.
Plus, his papa is just, like, my BFF.
Yeah. You guys are one and the same, that is for sure.
We love to watch Judge Judy together.
But Judge Judy is a good show, that's why. Everyone likes Judge Judy. I don't think anyone doesn't like Judge Judy. It's just one of those shows you watch on a lazy Sunday.
I was just stating, like, we're BFFs. We like to watch Judge Judy. Like,
yeah, and you like to sleep in pajamas and stay in your pajamas all day and shuffle around on the floor and take naps.
Yes. Awesome. I spent a whole summer with his papa. Every day I'd go over there. And we were like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, you guys get along, which is good.
But it means a lot. I really love his family. That really just seals the deal for me. They're like my own family.
Yeah, they, for the most part, treat you, like family too. So that's always helpful.
I don't think I've ever had, like... Obviously, everyone has a couple of bad experiences, but I don't think any of them have ever been, like, straight up mean to me. We have disagreements just like any other person, but, like, it is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, what else?
This is going to be a long video.
Well, it already is. I've been watching, and people are probably going to notice, but they already know. My camera might die, so it might be just audio at one point. It did that with Daniel. It just died. I tried to turn it back on a couple times, but Sony cameras overheat and turn off. It's a great camera, but it overheats.
So it's just got 1 hour and 55 minutes.
That I can record on the memory card.
Oh, okay.
It's going on almost 30 minutes. It'll probably die here sometime soon. So you guys are probably going to end up with just audio. I'm not even going to bother trying to sync up more video. It's just going to keep turning off. But I'm sure you guys don't really care at this point if you're still watching 30 minutes into it. But yeah, so going back to...
Your favorite part about me.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we're doing that. I was trying to think of something else to move on to. Favorite thing? Well, it's hard to narrow it down. Because I like so many things about you. Turn this into a game. Because if I don't say the right thing, I know I'm going to get shit for it later.
Maybe.
No. I mean, I can't say anything that's not going to be cheesy at all. But I think it's just I mean, it's the same way with anyone when they like fall in love with someone. It's personality. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously it's looks too.
I've put on a lot of weight since we
So have I. You know, I've gained like 40 pounds.
I don't look the same at all.
I used to be 160 pounds. Now I'm like 200. So it happens. College and life and work gets to you. Trust me. You'll find out. I know some of you are in high school. You'll find out once you move on. The hard way. Life hits you hard when you get out of high school. It's not gumdrops and candy canes.
Unless you get support from your family, then it might be a little easier.
Yeah, and I hope that you guys have better situations than her and I did. Because then that's what you want.
Well, people have tried to help the best that they can.
Yeah.
It just sucks when you have, like, people around you that get, like, everything paid for.
Well, no, it's just, I mean, regardless of the fact that, like, my family's helped me and tried to help me, it's, in the end, because of the way college is, I still get fucked over. And so does she. Because it's not, like, you know, my family wasn't, and there it goes, my family wasn't rich or anything, so it's not like I didn't have to worry about school. They're not.
You can't do it on there.
They're not poor enough to where it's like, you know, getting a bunch of extra help. It's like lower middle class. So I got nothing for financial aid. Like absolutely nothing that covers squat. So it was a lot of out of pocket and extra loans, and that's the hard part. So it's got its, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's good and bad at the same time. But yeah, it's your personality.
What about it?
It's just attractive.
What about my personality?
You're bubbly, you're weird, and you know, you can be tough when you need to be, and you care about people, and you know, it caught me, didn't it?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's enough reason. That's my reason. It's your personality. What about it? It attracted me.
Okay.
That's what I'll give you. Yeah. What else you want to talk about? What about what was your favorite part of high school?
I didn't really have one.
There was some. Okay, come on. I know there was some stuff that you enjoyed.
Probably our band teacher.
Right. Yeah.
He's like a second dad to me.
Yeah, he's a good, cool dude.
I actually feel horrible that I'm not as close with him anymore, but
well, it's hard.
I got really emotional when I knew I wasn't going to see him very much anymore.
Yeah. It's just, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I had the band teacher that we had, I had from 5th grade all the way through high school. So I got pretty close to him, and I knew him pretty well, and he knew me. And it was just over time, see, from 5th grade to high school, that's, 6, 7 years? Or no, 7, 8 years. Yeah, 7, 8 years. Mm-hmm. But what I was trying to get at was marching band.
Yeah.
Because I figured you were going to say that was part of what you enjoyed.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah? Just yeah?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's like you were saying, it's bittersweet. It really kept me going. It kept me going through all the crap going on in my life. Seeing, you and... I mean, we were part of Drumline, which had, on average, 20-something, 23, 22 people.
Yeah.
Mostly males. I'm going to add that. But, it was just like a family. It really was. I enjoyed being at the high school more than I did, at home. And I kind of dreaded, not when marching band was over, I dreaded not being able to go back and spend hours, like 3 or 4 hours with people I really cared about. Well, and our senior year was really tough, like we were saying. Like, we had a lot of decisions, like, life-changing decisions we had to make, and, you know, some were easier than others, and, you know, your surgery recovery was really, I mean...
Stupid.
Well, coming back from surgery, like, and having to go into wrestling, like, seeing you in so much pain, like, that really sucked, like...
How do you think I felt?
I'm just saying, like, the senior year was not easy whatsoever. No. Like, it really wasn't. And I feel like our lives have been anything but easy since.
Yeah. That's life.
I mean, we just have to look at the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I'm getting ready to graduate. You graduate soon. Yeah. And then we get to live that life we talked about living with each other.
Making the moolah.
It's not even about that.
No, you didn't even tell them. Great, we're too far into it. They're not gonna pay attention.
You'll have to make it 2 or 3 parts.
No, I'm not. I'll keep it as one.
They're not gonna watch all of this.
Oh, I have people that will.
Okay.
We'll talk about school on another one because this is already getting long. It's longer than the one with Daniel already. Because you're more important.
Don't stop saying that.
I'm just waiting because I know that since I've said that like 4 times in here, he's going to text me and be like, come on, man, really? Did you have to say that? But yeah. Yeah, we probably, this seems like a natural stopping point. It's going on for almost 40 minutes. I'm starting to get tired, actually. So, obviously, I know people are going to want you on more. You guys should tell me whether you want her in I should put her in some music videos. You guys can't see, but she just gave me the nastiest stank look in the world. Mm. But so I guess we were kind of talking about it before.
Try doing a live stream again.
Yeah, I probably should have said it at the beginning, but this is going up on a Sunday. Normally these go up on Saturdays. I tried to do a live stream version of this, but YouTube's live stream thing is not optimized or anything. I ended up having to try to do the old school way with OBS and stream keys and servers, and it doesn't work as well as it should. So that kind of fell on its face, and I didn't end up doing it. But I still want to try because I know you guys like when I live stream and stuff. So what we kind of proposed before we started recording this was for you guys to leave some more questions about
what do you want to know about us?
Yeah, what
not just our relationship, but like one another.
Yeah, just if you want to know more about her, stuff that we haven't talked about, ask away, stuff about us, anything involving us, just ask away, and that can be material for another time that she can be on, or a Q&A down the road, and it'd be a fun way to get some questions answered because I know you guys ask a shit ton of questions, so ask away. But yeah, it's a dead end here, so I'm gonna cut it off. So thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.